Now, more of Illinois Rising, presented by the Illinois Policy Institute, the only show directly addressing the problems and solutions for Illinois. Now, from AM 560, here's Dan Proft.
Dan Proft back with Pat Hughes, co-founder of the Illinois Opportunity Project, and this edition of Illinois Rising. And House Bill 156, sponsored by Democrat from Schaumburg, Michelle Mussman, property tax relief. Passed the House 108-1. Who could be against property tax relief? House Bill 156 would change the homeowners exemption from $6,000 to $8,000, and in Cook County from $7,000 to $8,000, and provide homeowners with much-needed property tax relief, right? Well, maybe not right. I don't know. Mike Madigan was on Vanilla Wafer Radio this week talking about a range of issues that he's working on. He's very concerned about working families, as you know, Pat.
He is.
And he mentioned, he was asked about property taxes, and he mentioned this Mussman bill, not specifically, but this is what he's talking about when he said this.
He talks about a freeze. The House of Representatives has already adopted a real estate tax relief package, which does not freeze but reduces taxes for certain real estate taxpayers, mainly small homeowners. And so the House package would increase exemptions known as the homestead exemption, the senior citizens exemption, the senior freeze exemption. It's targeted tax relief to real estate taxpayers that are needy, in need of help.
See, so there's Mike Madigan through Michelle Mussman helping homeowners, property taxpayers through this exemption I just described, this exemption increase, to relieve them of the onerous property tax burdens they currently suffer under, the highest property tax rates in the country here in Illinois. So for more on this, we have to explore the one who voted against it. Does she know something nobody else does? And for that, we're happy to be joined by State Representative Jeanne Ives, Republican from Wheaton. Jeanne, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
So Mussman sponsors this. 108 of your colleagues vote for it. Mike Madigan says it provides property tax relief for the homeowner, the small homeowner, the little person, as it were. Why'd you vote against it?
Because it doesn't provide the property tax relief people think it does. This was just a pandering piece of political gimmickry. And I stood alone on that vote. And it's tough. You know, you're looking at the voting tally go up, and you realize you're the only no vote on something that is easily going to be a political mail piece against many members, saying they refuse to vote for property tax relief. And yet I still stood there, the only no vote. And, you kind of doubt yourself. You're like, well, did I not read the bill right? No, I read the bill completely right. All this did was shift the burden. It shifted the burden to commercial industrial properties. It shifted the burden between homeowners themselves. And fortunately, my vote was vindicated in both a Daily Herald article and then also a very good expose by the Tax Federation of Illinois. And they made it their highlighted article in their April tax facts publication that they do. And so I'm very pleased with my vote now because they basically pointed out that if you don't receive one of these exemptions, and there was only carve-outs for all the aggrieved groups that you can imagine, seniors, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing that we are overtaxed on property. I'm disagreeing with this as the solution to handling that problem. But this basically pandered to veterans, old veterans, seniors, longtime homeowners, and it really didn't provide the relief. None of it was means tested, so you could literally have very wealthy individuals receiving property tax relief when far more other folks are deserving of it. And even the Tax Foundation, in their periodical, basically said, in every year since 1975, taxing districts have collected more money than the previous years, with the exception of 1979. And even when you've had various homestead exemptions that were created and expanded, total taxes collected always increased.
Yeah, but
EAV.
Is there something specific here? Is those people that the Democrats, Madigan, Mussman, are advertising as going to enjoy property tax relief? They're actually not necessarily, because this doesn't address EAV, And so you can have local government units that come over the top of these exemptions and increase your property taxes anyway.
That's my point in saying this. Even when they've expanded other exemption categories, total taxes collected have always increased. Even when EAD fell 30%, total property taxes increased. So, and I asked her on the House floor, Representative Mussman, does your bill freeze the property tax levy? No, it doesn't. Is your bill means tested so wealthy veterans are still paying their fair share? No, it's not. How about for disabled veterans who are making, in some cases far above the average? Is that means tested? No, it's not. How about the fact that if you're just the spouse of a disabled veteran who ends up dying, you, as that surviving spouse, also still get that property tax exemption, regardless of not being disabled yourself. So this it was a pandering mail piece. That's all this bill was.
Yeah. Jeanne, that's what it is, right? It's so that Madigan can make the comment that Dan just played at the beginning of this segment, right? Rauner is talking about property tax freezes. We've already given property tax relief. And so you're right. That's the issue on the mail piece. The question for me is, obviously your Republican colleagues should know that's what's going on, right? And the way to bite back on this would be the way you're biting back by saying, look, the reason we're not voting for this is because this is a scam, and you could use the scam as an election issue, right? How come you're the only person that voted for this?
Because people are afraid of mail pieces.
That's when we vote
afraid
against.
of it. And actually, two other Republicans spoke against this bill on the House floor, spoke against it, and still didn't have the courage to vote against it because they're afraid of having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to combat a mail piece that says you refuse to give property tax relief. In truth, this basically raises a number of people's property taxes. And again, go to the Tax Federation thing. They have a breakout by county of the break-even point, and they even do a sample county where essentially the savings on somebody who had a $200,000 house, they're only saving $29. That's not property tax relief, and that's if the levy's flat. The truth is this does nothing for property tax owners, and it harms businesses. I mean, businesses totally were against this bill, and we need them also to provide jobs in Illinois. It can be more frustrating down here to watch these political votes go up, and even Republicans vote for this garbage.
She is State Representative Jeanne Ives, fighting lonely battles in Springfield, Republican from Wheaton. Jeanne, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.